Yeah. Can I get your help for this?
Yeah, what do we got?
Brick is venturing into kids content. I'm making my own TV show for kids. The show's called ABCs of Fitness. All right. So what I'm gonna
Okay.
do is I'm gonna go letter by letter through the alphabet, and I'm gonna give them healthy words that they can learn based around that letter. We got A, right? Here's what I was thinking: amino acids. That's a double word score, like Scrabble.
Brick, I don't think kids are gonna know what amino acids are.
What other words can we use?
How about apple?
Apple.
Apples are nutritious and great for you.
I guess you're right. They are pretty good.
Brick Headstrong! Brick Headstrong! He's got the reps to you! He's got the reps to you! Brick Headstrong!
Jesse, welcome to Reppin Fitness.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. Your story is inspiring. I can't wait for people to hear about it. But before we get to that, did you go to the gym today?
I did go to the gym today.
Oh, nice. Me too. What'd you work today?
This was actually just my third workout since surgery, so I have to be
Oh,
really, really light about it right now, but I did legs today.
legs. You show off. You show off doing legs. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
So what
sorry.
are you doing? What are you doing that's light? You doing squats yet or what?
I didn't do squats yet. I did some leg press. I did extensions,
Oh,
leg curls, and hip abductors.
nice. How'd it feel to get back in the gym?
It feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's such an outlet for me to kind of get my mental health in the right space. So it's like
Oh,
necessary for me.
yeah.
And as soon as I got back in, everything kind of felt normal again.
I hear you. I feel completely out of place when I don't go to the gym. Ruins my whole day. I
Absolutely.
like to go right in the morning. Right in the morning. What time do you go to the gym?
I go in the morning, but I wait for the morning crowd to leave. So I usually go around 10 in
Oh,
the morning.
10 a.m. That's a nice spot. There's probably no one there then.
It's usually pretty quiet. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I might take that tip. I might do that from now on. But anyways, let's go back to the beginning. All right. You've lost a lot of weight. A lot of weight. Way more than me.
Well, more weight than most people have to, yes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. How much are we talking?
I mean, 260 pounds of fat, and I just had 22 pounds of skin removed. So about 280 pounds if you're counting that.
Whoa. That's a lot of skin.
Yeah, and that's just the first surgery. I still have another one to do. So it'll probably
Oh,
be around 40 or 50 pounds of skin after all.
Unbelievable. Now, what was the moment, or maybe a series of moments, that made you say, I can't keep living like this? What were you thinking?
Most people don't know what it's like to be that size.
No.
It's extremely difficult and very limiting. And the moments, like you said, it was a series of moments that kind of got me there were just feeling like I really wasn't able to live life anymore.
Oh,
Like, I couldn't, if I wanted to go out with friends, I had to be worried about how many steps is it going to be. I had to worry about, am I going to
oh,
fit in that seat? I had to worry about, am I going to be able to physically be capable of doing whatever it is? So it just like constantly feeling like I was so limited in what I could do
right.
and just never wanting to feel that way anymore.
Oh man. What was eating like back then? Do you remember what a day-to-day life was like that?
So I've always thought it was funny that you'll see like YouTube or Instagram videos of people doing like 10,000 calorie a day challenge. Like that's a lunch for me. Like
Oh,
I used to eat crazy amounts of food. Like I could eat a dozen donuts like it was nothing and still be ready for lunch. Like
oh wow.
um I and looking back at it now, it's pretty incredible. Like with nutritional knowledge that I have now, to look back and just like examine the types of foods I ate and the volume that I ate at, it was kind of crazy. unfortunately, when your mental health is in the wrong place and your hormones are at a place where they let you do that, it becomes very easy to slide down that slope.
Oh yeah. You had mentioned before about self-hate. What was that like for you day to day before getting into fitness?
The day to day was very difficult because I lived in a level of depression that most people don't even understand exists.
Right.
Just extreme severe depression where I literally just did not want to exist. And for me, it came to a point of I need to do this, or I don't think that I can live any longer. And luckily, I obviously found success in the gym and in weight loss. And a large reason for that is the fact that I started to get into the gym
Right.
because for 10 plus years I had tried to lose weight, and every time that I tried to lose weight, people love to say losing weight is all about nutrition. It all happens in the kitchen. And that's true from a scientific standpoint. Losing weight is all about calories in, calories out. But the gym and exercise in general is so incredibly important for your mental health that it's what keeps you on track. It's what makes this whole process become easy or become manageable.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because like I said before, if I don't get to the gym first thing in the morning, my whole day is off. My eating's off. My mindset's off. I constantly thinking about how I missed the gym that day. It just ruins my day.
Yeah, absolutely.
What finally got you to walk into the gym the first time? Was there someone or something that got you that push, or what happened?
Um, so I started when I started exercising when I was 525 pounds. Through
525 pounds. Wow.
Oh, I was actually, I don't even know what my highest actual weight was. 525 is just the first time I could get a scale to register my weight. So
Oh,
realistically, I've probably lost more than 260. I just don't know what the actual number is.
right, right.
Um, and so back when I was that size, I didn't feel comfortable going in the gym. So I just told myself all of my exercise is going to be in VR gaming. At the time, I
Oh,
was a big gamer. All I did was play video games. So I told myself, if I want to play video games, I have to be getting up and I have to be moving while I'm playing.
right.
So I started out like that for the first 3, 4 months. And then after a little bit of movement, I reached out to Andrew Coates, who's a trainer in my local area. And I just said
Oh,
like,
Andrew.
hey, Andrew's a great guy. And I just gave him a kind of a spiel, like a look. This is where I'm at in my life, and I'm at a point where I want to get in the gym. I want to start training and feeling comfortable in my own body and building confidence and all that stuff. And Andrew connected me with a local trainer, um, Frazier, who's a fantastic guy. And Frazier was who helped me feel comfortable in the gym for the first time.
Oh. Shout out to Frazier and Andrew Coates. He's the mayor. He's the mayor of fitness.
Yeah, I love Andrew, and I love Frazier, and I think that without if I had not reached out to the right people, there's a good chance I wouldn't have found love for fitness or love for being in the gym like I did. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, real quick though, if Brick were to run for mayor of fitness, do I got your vote?
I got it. Andrew's the current man. I'm gonna vote Andrew. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, maybe we'll change your mind by the end of this. Maybe before the end.
Maybe,
Maybe before the end.
maybe we'll see.
But really, those first few months, though, getting back in the gym, they're brutal. They're brutal. I remember them. I didn't love them. What were your expectations going in? And how quickly did reality set into that?
When I started, I didn't think I would be able to finish a workout. Like
Oh, no.
I was still when I started like the first time I stepped foot in a gym, I think I was 450 pounds, and I was
Oh,
like, "There's no way I'm going to be able to finish a workout, but I'm going to try."
yeah.
But Frazier was he was very aware of my situation. He made sure that there were enough like seated exercises. He was knowledgeable enough to adjust exercises to make sure that my body type could fit into whatever it was I was doing.
Oh, that's good.
And within, like right away, we were completing full workouts. And then, I never really got to a point where I was like, I'm overwhelmed by this. In fact, I think by the second month of being in the gym, I was up to 6 days a week.
Wow, that's impressive. And you just liked it. Were you just getting into it?
I loved it.
Was there a moment?
I loved
Was
it.
there a moment early on
Yeah.
that it clicked, or what?
Yeah, pretty early on, I had towards the end of a workout. Frazier loved to end workouts with sled pushes or sled pulls, and
Oh, I love
I
those.
remember, I I hate them. I love the
Oh
way they
yeah,
make me feel, but I hate them.
yeah. They get those legs going.
And yeah, I remember the very end of the workout, just like really pushing past like a point where I thought I couldn't push past, and I fell in love with that feeling of kind of pushing yourself past where you feel like you can go.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Now, a lot of people, they chase the scale, you know. You've clearly gained a lot more than just weight loss, right? What else did you discover along that journey?
Yeah, I'm actually very against chasing the scale. So I
Right.
focus mostly on those the non-scale victories. I think that that's the most important
Non-scale
part.
victories. Yeah, what are those
I
to you?
I've gained a ton. I've gained confidence and self-love. I've learned to appreciate all the things that my body is capable of now. And I get asked all the time what my goal weight is, and every single time my answer is the same. I don't have a goal weight. I don't really
Oh, no.
care what that number on the scale says. What I care about is never feeling limited. Like I
Oh,
said
yeah.
earlier, that was my biggest thing, right? Is I felt like I could never do anything. So for me, it's about, if I want to wake up on Saturday morning and go climb a mountain, I want to be able to do that. If I want to go, you know, if I want to go run a 10K, I want to be able to do that. Like I don't want to ever feel like I'm limited in my capabilities.
Yeah, I hear you.
So, and I think that's what I've gained is I've gained the ability to go and do things.
What's some fun stuff that you do now that you couldn't before?
Ooh. Well, honestly, just about everything because
Oh,
back then Brick, it got so bad that there was a point in time where I was walking through a grocery store, and I was with a friend and I said, "Look, I have to leave right now. I can't walk anymore. I legitimately could not stand." So it was like
oh,
I was at a point where, I could barely walk for 5 minutes, and now I don't take that stuff for granted. Just being able to go and walk through a mall, or I drive to Costco and just walk around just for the fun of it because I didn't get to be able to, I couldn't do that before.
yeah.
Um, but I've done a ton of traveling. I've met a ton of amazing people. I get out and I seek out adventure now.
Oh,
I started
nice.
playing this game with myself where I take two random number generators, one between
Okay.
1 and 100 and one in 1 and 4.
Right.
Then the 1 and 4 tells me which direction I have to go in. The 1 and 4 tells me how many kilometers. So it'll be like, 74 kilometers west. And then I find something to do there. I'll go 74 kilometers
Oh,
west. And then I look around if I find, there's a random bowling alley or something, or maybe there's a I just went to axe throwing. Like I wouldn't have done stuff
wow.
like that before.
Yeah. Is walking a big part of your exercise program now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't really I don't I don't walk just for the sake of walking because I find that quite boring. I'm not the type of person that's like, "Oh, I'm going to go for a walk around the neighborhood." I more so try to find ways to walk with intention. So like I said, going to Costco or going to the mall or something along those lines, I try to find getting in steps in a way that's more enjoyable for me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
even if it's like, I'll still do the like park a block away and walk to the mall or to Costco or whatever, but I find ways to get steps that are just a little bit more engaging and interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, I always say this, steps are reps. You got to get your steps in, no matter who
You
you are,
do?
you know? How do you stay
Yeah.
motivated when the results weren't really immediate? What kept you going, showing up?
So we're in a society where everybody is looking for instant gratification.
Right.
And that's, in the world of health and fitness, there is no instant gratification. Health and
You're right.
fitness doesn't care about your desire to see immediate results. It cares about whether you keep showing up consistently.
Yep.
And for me, I think the biggest thing was understanding and learning the science and understanding, things like, how many calories are in a pound and how many calories are in each food and things along those lines, so that, on those, when you would have that period of 2 or 3 weeks of the scale not moving, you can have that rational conversation with yourself of, look, I know that I'm in a calorie deficit. I know that I'm losing fat, whether the scale says so or not. That body fat is coming out because the energy has to come from somewhere. So it would
Yeah.
just be like a matter of mentally reminding myself that whether the scale says that I'm progressing or not, I know that I am, and I just have to trust that science.
Yeah. You got to trust the process, you know?
Absolutely.
Now, along the way, there's probably some lies you told yourself before starting. How did those
Ooh.
beliefs change over time? What are some things that came in your head?
I used to lie to myself to an insane amount. I would lie about, like I'm not really eating that much food, or
Oh,
I would lie about, oh, I'm trying, but I just can't lose the weight, or everything everything was about trying to keep myself in a place of comfort.
yeah.
And early on in this journey, I realized you have to almost get comfortable being uncomfortable. You
I
have
like that.
to, like, things like being a little bit hungry. Like, hunger is not an emergency. Hunger doesn't mean you need to be eating immediately. And things like, getting steps out in the heat can sometimes be uncomfortable, or pushing yourself in the gym to get that final rep. Like, a lot of things are uncomfortable in this journey, and you just have to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Now, during this whole process, right? How did your relationship change? How did it evolve with your body? Like, you said you started off pretty self-hating, but was there another step there to tolerance? Maybe starting to get prideful? What were you thinking? It didn't just go from one to the other, right?
No, definitely. So early on, when there was a lot of self-hate, um, it it changed because as I kept putting in the work, as I kept showing up and putting in those reps and getting those steps or reps, uh,
Steps or reps?
I, I
Trademarked.
just,
TM.
I found that every day that I looked in the mirror, I saw that consistency. I saw that showing up for myself. And every day that I kept showing up, I just felt a little bit more pride in myself. I felt a little bit more self-love. Um, and, I talk with my clients all the time about, when you're really obese and you're struggling to lose weight, you're constantly destroying your self-trust, right? Because you're telling yourself you're going to do all these things, you're going to do these things, and then you never do. And when you
Right.
start to rebuild that self-trust and you start to show up for yourself, and you start to get to a place where you truly, when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you actually follow through. That's when you start to love yourself again. And that's when you start to
Oh.
be able to build that confidence back up, or build that self-esteem back up, and really start to feel good about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you mentioned too that you're a coach. You're a weight loss journey
Yeah.
coach. When that start for you? And tell me a little about your clients.
So early on with Frazier actually recommended that I start taking classes to become a certified coach.
Oh,
Um,
nice. What certification you got?
I have NASM and I have precision
Oh,
nutrition,
me too. Ooh, what's the precision nutrition one? I might need that one.
just nutrition coach.
Oh, okay. So you could tell people about food. You could tell them about food.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just supposed to tell them drink more water. That's it. That's all I'm supposed to say.
There,
According to NASM. That's what they told me.
everyone should drink more water.
Yeah, absolutely. There's never enough.
Uh,
But anyway.
That would have been back in 2023. And
23.
I before taking on any sort of clients, I certainly dealt with a pretty extreme level of imposter syndrome of like,
Oh yeah.
I'm fat. Who am I to be teaching people how to lose weight? But I started very early on taking just like friends and family and helping them out. And then it would be friends of friends through word of mouth and stuff like that. And then eventually using my social media platform to start to build clients. And for me, working with my clients is a lot more about working on the mental side of things,
Oh
because
yeah.
weight loss for me is all about mentality and being in the right headspace. So when I'm working with clients, it's a lot of those, trying to understand things like food noise, trying to understand why we make the decisions we do, how to make better ones, and really honing in on how to find a life of balance.
Now hold on a sec. What's food noise? I never heard that before.
Oh, food noise is very difficult to explain to somebody who doesn't get it.
Okay.
Food noise is, um, it's if you were, have you been broke before, Brick?
I have been. Yes. You mean like broke mentally or
Like,
physically? Like I don't have any more money?
no,
What do you
like
mean?
no money, like no
Money?
money.
No money. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been there. I've been there. That's how I started this
Okay.
podcast. You know, got
There
no
you
money
go.
now. Spent it on all these nice things I
So,
got here. Anyways.
so when you're really, really broke and you're at a point of, okay, well, tomorrow the rent is due and I've got no money in my bank account, all you can think about is how you have no money. It's pure
Yeah.
anxiety. You're questioning how am I going to come up with this money all day, all day long. All you're thinking about is that money. It's that you're filled with anxiety. You're struggling. And realistically, that's what food noise is, but for food. And people
Oh.
like myself, people with different hormones, for us, we think about food all the time.
Right.
There's I And that's what, those the GLP-1 medications that a lot of people take, that's what it helps with, is that noise in your brain that says or constantly tells you to keep thinking about food.
Interesting. Now, a thing I think people get all screwed up all the time is they think they're going to see results in 3 months, maybe even 30 days, 60 days, 6 months. What was it for you? When was the moment where it hit you just how far you came? When you started feeling different about it?
I would say I felt different after the first 3 or 4 months probably, but I
Yeah.
didn't really feel like like 3 or 4 months is when I started to like notice physical differences. But when you're that big, it's pretty easy to lose weight pretty quickly.
Right.
Um, but I didn't get to a point of like feeling like, yeah, I've got this, or like, yeah, the weight is gone, and until about a year. Like after about a year of consistency about showing up, I got to a point where it was like, I'm not worried. The weight is going to come off. There's no question about it, and the weight is going to stay off, and there's no question about it.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Now, we spent a lot of time talking about self hate, right? And I think it's important when we talk about self love. What does that mean to you now after everything you've been through?
Self-love is about showing up for yourself, and it's
Absolutely.
about valuing yourself and appreciating yourself, and um feeling worthy and feeling loved and feeling like you can do anything you put your mind to.
I like that. Yeah, you just got to love yourself just a little bit. Show up for yourself. You got to show up for yourself sometimes.
Absolutely.
Don't wait for somebody else to do it for you, you know? But back to
Absolutely.
the self hate stuff. A little bit of hate right now. You said sled pushes, right? You don't like doing those, right? Are there any other exercises on the hate list? What's something you don't like doing at the gym?
Ooh, I hate glute bridges, or
Oh,
I really dislike doing most ab exercises. I push myself to do them, but I don't like them.
no, I get you. I hear you.
Um, I think that's it. For the most part, I kind of love most things. Glute bridges just feel a little awkward to me, is what it is. I also don't have the best knee, so leg extensions also feel a little awkward, but that's okay.
I was gonna say, I've been watching some of your videos, and you got some tree trunks for legs. You're gonna be coming out of this with massive legs. I might have to borrow some. You know?
Yeah, being 500 pounds will do that.
Yeah. Carrying around a lot of weight. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's
Yeah, Frazier liked to say, I'm never gonna have to work. I'm never gonna have to train calves a day in my life.
yeah, right. Jeez, they're phenomenal, phenomenal calves, right? When you have those exercises you're doing you don't like, right? Is there any type of music you like listening to at the gym? Also, for
Ooh.
my playlist, I need new songs.
Oh, I'm one of those people that are chaotic. I listen to
Oh,
my
yeah, that's
my
what I like here.
playlist is everything. My playlist
Oh,
has everything from metal to country to rap to everything in between.
is it a specific type of workout that you play music for?
Yes.
Oh, I hear you. I hear
Yeah. So actually, I have a playlist that I use for cardio that says, it has four keywords of upper, like, or higher, lower, and then faster, slower. And whenever those words happen, I have to either increase or decrease the decline or the speed. And it
you.
just like is a way
Oh,
of making the cardio a little bit more engaging for me.
yeah, it's a little gamification. Sounds good. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good tip. I think that's interesting. Hey, Jesse, this has been great. Thanks so much for being a guest on Reppin Fitness.
Yeah, I've had a great time. It was great to meet you, Brick.
Yeah, you too. And hey, before we wrap up though, what advice would you give someone listening to this right now who's still in the first few months phase where they're frustrated, ready to quit? What can you tell them?
There's a lot of reasons that people look at quitting. Usually, the ones that are the most frustrating are the scale not moving.
Yeah.
Which, going back to the conversation we had earlier, that's just a matter of understanding and trusting the science. And the other thing that makes people stop is if they have like a cheat day or like a bad day and they think, oh, well, I've ruined my progress, I should just quit. And the idea of that is literally the concept of, you're driving down the road and your tire goes flat and you decide, oh, well, I guess I should just stab the other three tires and walk home. Like,
yeah,
if you have a
right. I would
bad
do that.
day, exactly, you repair that tire and you get back on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just about the most important part, and I'll preach this to my dying breath. The most important part is just never quitting, because you can not
Yeah,
fail at this unless you quit.
I like that. I like that. Well, hey, Jesse, thanks again for being a guest on Reppin Fitness. And hey, if you're watching at home, do like Jesse.
Get those reps.
He said the line. Go get those reps. Never quit. Don't forget, we'll see you on the next repisode. Oh, man, you hit that line. Let's get those reps. Yeah, all right.